And the winner for most ambiguous title of the year goes to... I really thought it was a fucking Christmas movie when I saw that title a year ago. Antlers is brought to us by director Scott Cooper and stars Kerry Russell, Jesse Plemons, and Jeremy T. Thomas. So Antlers is a horror movie produced by Guillermo del Toro that was supposed to come out like more than a year ago. But as with many movies, with all the crazy shit going on in the world, it got delayed. But now we finally got it, and... well, this movie was a bit different than I was expecting. I was expecting a violent creature feature, and it is to a degree, but it is also a lot more thoughtful film than you initially think. This movie isn't just about the creature, it actually has some messages it's trying to get across. And chief among those would be the system failing abused children and just the abused overall. But unlike some films with a message, this message actually fits the narrative. It doesn't seem out of place. I never felt like this message was being shoved down my throat like a porn star chugging dongs. Yeah, I just said that. And that was a bit refreshing, especially in today's climate when we have a movie that has a message, but it's not trying to force it on us. Now, this is a horror movie, but it's not really scary. It's still really entertaining. I had a pretty good time with this movie, but I never really found it to be scary. I mean, I guess that could change with the individual, and it is situational, but for me, no, I was never really scared. Now, this is a bit more of a slower horror film than some people are going to like, especially the first third of the film, but that's okay because what they're doing in these parts is establishing good characters. It's not wasted time. We are still entertained, we're still intrigued, we like these characters that we're getting to know, and that actually really pays off later in the movie when things do start to go down more. This isn't a horror movie where people are getting picked off that you just don't care about. When people get in danger, you actually feel for them, you don't want them to get hurt. Now, the ending of this movie, man, that was fucked up. That's all I'm gonna say. I can't really say much without spoiling things, of course, because, you know, it's the end of the movie, but just know that something that a character has to do in the end of this movie is just a all-around fucked up situation. And since, as I stated earlier, we do care about all these characters, seeing them have to do this thing is a bit heartbreaking. Now, there's some other aspects about the ending that I got questions about, such as what some characters that do survive's futures hold or don't hold. When you see the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. The movie does leave things a bit open enough for a possible sequel, but I don't think that that was ever their intention. I know some people might take it that way, that, oh, they're setting up another movie, but I don't think so. I just don't feel like that's the direction that this movie was going. The consequences of the ending of this film do open up things that will happen beyond the film, but I didn't really get the feeling that the filmmakers were wanting to really go there. Overall, narratively, this is an interesting, much deeper horror story than I was expecting, and I did really enjoy it. Now, everybody does a great job with the performances here, but the standout to me would be relative newcomer, at least at the time of the making of this film, Jeremy T. Thomas as young Lucas. Holy shit, this kid kills it. He does a great job carrying a good portion of this film, especially for somebody who hasn't really been in much up to this point. More times than not, we don't see young actors perform this well, but damn, this kid has got a bright future if this movie has anything to say about his talents. Now, the creature design in this movie is really cool, and you can absolutely see Guillermo del Toro's hands all over it. And they don't really show it that much either, which I think was a really good decision. They kind of followed the Jaws model in that way, where we get glimpses of it here or there, and we do see some pretty brutal scenes with it, but you never get a full shot of it until later in the film. But even then, they don't like blow their load. They show it still shrouded in darkness and in the shadows and things like that. We do get a few shots of it all the way, but it's never too much. It retains that mystique and mystery and stays threatening all the way to the end. And the creature itself just looks great. Not just its design, but the actual physical creature itself. I'm pretty sure it's practical with maybe some CGI flourishes here or there. Hell, it may have been all practical, but it looked great. The practical effects overall in this movie are awesome, and yeah, we do get some CGI here or there, but that looks really good too, and it is fairly limited. But they're not just awesome, they are fucking disgusting, but disgusting in that good kind of raunchy horror way. We get some really brutal violence in this movie, and the bodies that are left behind are just wrecked, man. They are just like fucked from head to toe, and we get to see it in all its glory. And they did a great job with this. This shit looks really good and just really fucking disgusting at the same time. These are some great effects overall that they really knew when they needed to show a lot and when they needed to be more reserved, and they were all very effective. Guys, Antlers was a really interesting and fresh take on the horror genre. It's a bit slower, especially in the first third of the film, than some people are going to like, but it is still a really interesting character-driven piece. And when they ratchet up the intensity, it is brutal. It's got great performances, some awesome effects, and a really interesting and thoughtful story that does have some deeper meaning to it. The filmmakers knew how to be more thought-provoking than we're used to, but at the same time really entertaining, and that is why Antlers is absolutely worth a buy.
Do it! Do it!
Show me the money!
Do it!
You motherfucker!
So,
Show me the money!
do it.
This was an entertaining horror flick that's gonna get you to thinking a bit, and I really do appreciate that. So if you're looking for a creature feature that's a bit deeper than what we're used to with these kinds of movies, then check out Antlers one night, and I think you're gonna have a really good time with it. So there it is, guys, my review of Antlers. If you enjoyed, want more content like this, hit that subscribe button and help my little channel grow. If you want to help out the channel, check out my Patreon in the description below and become a jarhead and get some of the awesome benefits to go along with that, like these guys, and possibly join my top tier and become a bad motherfucker like my man Greg. If you liked what I had to say, give me a like. If not, let me know in the comments below why. And as always, stay sexy, Christmas Falls.
He's here.
So Jesse Plemons, I didn't really mention him, but he is in this movie as well in a pretty substantial role, and he does a great job just like everybody else. But Jesse Plemons, this guy is just showing up in everything now, and he's kind of killing it. But I gotta say, every time I see him, I think of Matt Damon. And that being said, while Plemons is a little bit bigger than Damon physically, people have started to call him Fat Damon. It's fucked up. That's real fucked up. But I mean, it's kind of, I mean, it's on surface level, it is kind of funny. Let's be real. I'm not trying to fat shame or anything like that. I don't believe in that shit. But I mean, come on, that joke right there. Just like I said, surface level. When you first hear it, it's kind of fucking funny. Great actor though, seriously. Yeah, I'm going to hell.